It is so hard sometimes to do content. And I want to show you one of the easiest ways to create content, because the reason why we're creating content, of course, is so we can establish ourselves as an authority in our industry and show that we're an expertise. We have an expertise in our business. And there are things that we want our customers to know or clients to know. One of the main things that happens is we want to be found online and we want to add value. So if we think about what are some of the things that people do when they're online, they ask questions, perhaps they want to be entertained. A lot of times they want to learn something. They're here online so we can learn and we can grow and we can learn a new trade or a skill or something like that. And if you can position yourself as an expert and authority in those areas, in your area, what ends up happening is they end up knowing, liking, and trusting you. And we know that when people can know us and like us a little bit and trust us, they're willing to do business with us. But the challenge, of course, is how do I do that? How do I create content without, putting too much mind share into it, or really just, how do I make this an easy process? So we have a formula, and it's the perfect formula, I call it, and it's called 10 and 10. And what this is, you would take 10 of your frequently asked questions. So depending on what your business is, you would have frequently asked questions that your customers ask you all the time. And it's usually the same ones. And it's usually the ones they might want to Google, which is why we would do this, right? So there's questions that your customers are always asking you. You know what they are. If you can record those questions, then you can create content to be put online. There's also 10 should ask questions. We say come up with 10 questions that your customers should be asking. Like I know for my industry what I would recommend customers ask the next SEO person that they would want to hire. So you'd want to do the same thing. What are some things that I know they should ask, or things that oftentimes will set myself apart from others of my competitors, right? So with that, if you take your 10 frequently asked questions and your 10 should ask questions, we can now create hundreds of pieces of content from them. And you heard me right. It's hundreds of pieces of content. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Here in this slide, you can see how if we start at the left, we take a video. And I recommend video. It doesn't have to be video, but if you take a video, you can then transcribe that video, and then that video can become an article with just a little sprucing up, because sometimes we speak a little different than we would write, right? So you would spruce it up a little. And then once you've created that article, you can also create a blog post, or sometimes even more than one blog post out of that. From a blog post, it then becomes social posts. Maybe you're going to even pull out a couple of quotes, and then you're going to have social posts that link back to your blog post or your article, which may even include your video. So you can start to see how we are creating tons of content. Once you've created your social media posts, now you can also put them on your directory listings, like your Google My Business posting. So we've just created a whole web of information from one piece of content that will be on all your different properties online, all your different channels, and all those different channels can now web back together. They kind of connect back together to help Google connect the dots, but more importantly, to help people find your content, because when they find your content, no matter where they're hanging out online, they might be on Facebook, they might be on Google, they might be on YouTube, wherever they are, they're going to find your content and get to know you. And that's the main thing. The main thing is adding value to your perfect customer. And we all have a perfect customer, as somebody who we know is just like us, so to speak, or the one person who gets us. When you create your content, think about that one person. Say, okay, this person is the person that I know will appreciate what I have to offer and totally has these questions that I can be of value and answer for them. As you think about them, create your video. I'm going to say video. It could be maybe an audio recording. You could even create a podcast if you'd like, and take the podcast information to create the videos, to create the articles and blog posts and so on. And once you've done that and you've spoken to your perfect customer, they will get to know you. They'll start to consume content and get to know more about you. And they also will appreciate the fact that you are answering questions that they have about your business or about your industry or something that they really need answered. And then once you've done that, now they get to know you, like you, and then trust you. And the first thing they're going to do is when they have a question or they feel like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own, I need help, you're going to be the person that they will want to call. So I hope this helps. It's a very simple formula to take one piece of content and to create hundreds of pieces of content that will not only get found online, but help your customer get to know, like, and trust you. Thank you.